April 2023 video horoscope with me, Lada from AstroladaOfficial. Guys, April eclipse season starts. Wow, we're gonna have the first eclipse in Aries, the first with North Node since 18 years ago. So big shifts are about to happen, and we're gonna have the luckiest day of the year. Jupiter will join the sun. For every one of us, some powerful new creative inspirational opportunity will appear that will make us feel more alive. We'll talk through all of that. And Mercury goes retrograde, but who cares? But the eclipses and Jupiter and the sun. But before I start, I just want to let you know that this is my birthday month, and I only do once a year discount of almost 50% of all of my courses. Only my courses. It's not going to repeat again this year. I'm doing it just for my birthday month for 2-3 weeks. So if you'd like to learn any of my courses, I have foundational, short, long. I will put a link below to all my courses, so you can this is the last time I'm doing it this year, and possibly for years ahead, because I'm gonna do a very different way. We're gonna do a subscription from then on, so it's, so we'll see. So thank you so much. Let's begin the April 20 Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, April 2023. Scorpio, the month starts with Saturn becoming visible, or as the ancient call it, Saturn is being born, becoming visible in the skies in your 5th house for the first time in 30 years. So something new will be born in regards to this 5th house. 5th house can be children, for example. It can be new developments in the life of your children, or you starting to build some new foundations. There may be a process of maturation or growth of your children, of distancing themselves, or maybe a process of you to put more boundaries and rules in regards to your children, to build some new foundations, routines, and regulations there. 5th house is also your love life. So it can be the birth of some new circumstances around your love life, like it can be like a new love figure that appears if you're single, for example, but that's someone who is more Saturnian in nature, for example, older, or Capricorn-like, or just more reserved, with more authority. Or there can be some other new circumstance that appears in your love life where it forces you or asks you to be more discriminate with who you let into your room, into your heart, because there can be some kind of a heartbreak, or because there can be someone that takes advantage or neglects your heart. And also, if you've been neglectful also with love towards your spouse or someone else, this will be like a reality check for you, to learn to see the results of your actions. But also for you, it's about learning to put some structures there, to put some discrimination, some more rules, also to protect yourself and your loved ones. And the 5th house is also the house of creativity. This can be the start of some new creative project for some of you, but it has more Saturnian side to it, which means it can take a long time. It can feel a little bit more drawn out, or and you need to do something in regards to your creativity. If you're starting some project, maybe you're starting to build a business, maybe you have some idea that appears. 5th house is your own creative ideas, your personal ideas. So it can be the birth of some creative ideas that is more mature, that is focused around maybe turning a talent that you have into a business that you can start putting the foundations for. But don't worry, you have 2-3 years to do that while Saturn is in your 3rd house. Or it can be the birth of some creative routines where you kind of put yourself like, every day I would do like 20 minutes of writing, or 20 minutes of building this website, or 20 minutes of, or 1 hour of working on this, something that you're passionate about. And there are a lot of other things that it can manifest through, but now, because we have a lot of other things happening, let's go to them. The other important event is that there will be a full moon in your 12th house on the 6th of April, which means that maybe very strongly for a week you'd feel it. So a week or two, this 12th house very, very strongly activated, with the peak around the 6th, the 7th of April. This is the 12th house. So for some of you, it can mean trip to a faraway place. For others, it can mean activation of the subconscious, because 12th house has more mystical connotations. So it's like it's your intuition, it's your ability to connect to invisible worlds. Some of you might actually even have very vivid dreams around that time, and sometimes even prophetic in ways. Others might have activation of connection to invisible realms. Say you can have like an amazing reading with a psychic or an astrologer, where you're given messages from departed loved ones, or where you're given invisible instructions, so to speak. On another level, though, it's the moon there will illuminate intuitively for you to feel your feelings more, to feel more empathic and intuitive towards others, to feel the mood, and to be more sensitive, though. So you can definitely feel that this beginning of April, after the first week, that you're picking up more psychic impressions and vibrations, that you're more impressionable, and maybe you even that are more inclined to, if you have unhealthy coping methods, to maybe indulge in certain hidden vices or addictions of some sort. To overdo them, you have to be a bit careful around that time. Or to retreat and to spend more time alone, maybe to need some time alone or in a very different environment than your everyday mundane environment. Maybe go to a spa, go to a hotel, go to a place you don't know for a few days. So it kind of feels like you're disconnected around this period from the hum and drum, the normal routines of life. And it can feel almost like a magical moment for some of you, and it can feel emotionally healing. It's almost like you need this time for your soul to shake off other impressions, feelings, and to kind of regenerate a little bit. But there is, in this full moon, the Chiron participates. It's exactly conjunct the sun and opposite the moon. And so there is a energy there of possible healing. Chiron is the wounded healer, and it's exactly conjunct. So there is a possibility here of spiritual healing of some sort. And especially if you've had some physical ailment, because Chiron is in the 6th house, or mental health issue that's been ailing you for a while. That's like a thorn in your foot that's always there, that's been ailing you. They can have like a healing crisis now. And it can be released through release of emotions, through some realization of some deep subconscious truth or behavior that you are not aware of, and that can help release and has some healing crisis on the physical and spiritual and emotional level. Because Chiron is in the 6th house as well, it can be directly physical connection. Plus, it can be some healing connected to addictive patterns, or 12 houses, those things we do compulsively and we don't know what this compulsion is. And the wounded healer, full moon there can illuminate you, give you clarity about that, and hopefully release you. 12th house is a moksha house of liberation, of healing. So hopefully release some burden, psychological, emotional, or mental, that is causing this constant imbalance, this constant wound for you. All right, so kind of I would say around this time, 6th, 7th of April, maybe do meditation, pray. The 12th house is a prayer to be released from illness, to be released from some kind of a emotional, let's say if you're depressed, or if you have some chronic illness or some chronic addiction. This is the houses of enslavement to substances or other kind of mental, spiritual, psychological addictions. So you can make a little prayer, because it's a time, full moon is to release something, to let go of something. Chiron is healing crisis. 12th house is, of course, to end the cycle. So that can be powerful time for some of you in regards to that. Or just on the most simple level, it can be that around that time you feel like being more alone, meditating, relaxing more, some getting into more spiritual themes, listening to music, being in nature. You can have incredible connections to those soul renewing activities, soul washing activities. Then the other big event is that Sun and Jupiter, the two gas giants. The Sun is divine consciousness. Jupiter is angelic consciousness, a bit lower than the sun, but still very high, much higher than humans, so wisdom and creativity. They're joining in your 6th house. It's considered the luckiest day of the year by astrologers because the luckiest planets join together. Well, it's a birth of a new cycle. So again, we have some new beginnings here. The beginning of a new cycle in your 6th house. So that can be connected. Again, we have this theme of healing, 6th house, health, starting some new health routines for some of you. And that can feel very inspired towards you, Jupiter. You can co-create it, and Jupiter can give you the wisdom to find exactly the right supplements for yourself, exactly the right nutrients, to find the right information about exactly the right diet or exactly the right exercise routine or exactly the right health changes that you have to do. And the sun can give you the creativity and the goal to start doing that. And it's not only going to be on the 11th of April, this whole complex of Jupiter and the sun is activated the whole month. So I would say even into March, into May, because after that, there will be a full moon, there will be a new moon eclipse again in your 6th house on the 20th of April with Rahu, the North Node, planet of manifestation, in Western astrology considered another very beneficial manifesting influence. And eclipses are something fated. So this month you can expect, because of Jupiter is part of this eclipse, not far away. And first Jupiter starts a cycle with the sun. So I'll combine those two events, Jupiter conjunct Sun, and then continuation Jupiter as full moon, new moon, so new beginnings, eclipse, fated events in your 6th house with the North Node to manifest new beginnings again. So some big events can happen to you already from April regarding to your health routine. As I said, maybe it can be a great time to start exercise the whole April, especially after the eclipse, or to do some change in your health. And in extreme cases, there can be some health crisis that triggers the need for this change for you, because Pluto is squaring the eclipse, and eclipses sometimes can be disruptive, but it's pushing you towards new direction, to experiment, to try something else about your daily routines and health habits. And 6th house is also work, your service, the service that you give, your employment. There can be big shifts, not just in April, but for the next 6 to 12 months, because an eclipse says there will be big changes happening starting from now. Sometime eclipse can give its results within 12 months, maybe not immediately, but some big shifts happening in regards to your work, in regards to your employment, in regards to the service you give. You can find yourself getting excited about a new work direction, discovering new passion, so to speak, or new purpose, or new in regards to service or helping others in some way. For some, it can be even a pet that changes their life. 6th house rules pets. For others, it can be development of some interests that they can hone and master and perfect, like a disciple almost. And 6th house is the house of, it's not the easy house. I mean, like, it's a house of health issues and so on that have to be paid attention to. But Jupiter and the sun give you the knowledge and the wisdom there to solve maybe such issues. And work and service. I'm trying to figure out what else it is. Some routines, new daily routines. It's not necessarily just your work, but how your kind of daily environment and daily habits and practices can start changing. Not just now, but over the next 12 months. Hopefully for the better, for the healthier, for more, for more in a way that is better organization, better routines around you. And of course, it can mean change of a job and work or work environment, expansion. New ideas can come to you to expand your business, for example, if you have your own business, to have more employees, to grow it somehow. So that's another way it can play out. And let's say, and then on the next day after the eclipse, we have Mercury turning retrograde in your 7th house. Maybe you'll feel this the strongest out of all the influences, Scorpios. And especially Scorpios that are from around 15 degrees, let's say 17 or 18, to around 4 or 5 degrees. So from 4 till 17 degrees. In Scorpio, that's my little sun, Mercury becomes retrograde from the 21st, but you can feel it already a few days before that it's happening, becoming retrograde in your 7th house, which is very much about maybe people from the past starting to come into your life, seeing someone you haven't seen for a while. It might be friends, it might be relatives, it can be colleagues from before, or usually friends, because Mercury also rules your 11th house. But also someone relationship from the past that counts, to be addressed. On another level, this can also indicate that some unspoken things with a partner, business, personal, marriage, or close friend can come to the surface. Things from the past that were buried, but can bubble up now to be addressed because they have not been addressed properly before. So it can kind of get a bit, things can escalate a little bit. You can find out some things about another person or about your partner, about other people, or they can find some things and bring them up. So you can dig a little bit by communication through the past and try to clarify certain things. And it can, in more extreme cases, it can mean really confrontation with another partner and re-examining the terms of condition of your relationships. Or it might be re-examining the terms of conditions of a partnership, not just a marriage, but also a business partnership, or terms of conditions of a contract of some sort, and saying, okay, we need to change something. I'm not satisfied with this contract anymore. Let's re-examine it, or let's reassign different roles, or let's tweak a little bit the roles that we play in this business partnership, collaboration, personal relationship as well. There can be some new rules that are set, alternative rules that are set. And hopefully by the time Mercury finishes with the 7th house, which is in May sometime, you'll have a more balanced relationships that's more fair to both. Or if you couldn't reach agreement, sometimes it can be like the thing that ends it. But there will be some negotiations and some new rules and changes being set there, how to behave and so on. Another way it can play out, you can re-examine, if you have your own business, for example, your marketing strategy and how you approach clients. When Mercury goes retrograde, you might want to get back to clients you haven't paid attention much to reshape your marketing strategy, because 7th house is how you reach out to others, how you get clients and sell your projects and so on. So it can be quite good time business-wise, revising, improving, fixing things. Of course, stressful because things are not running according to plan, so you need to revise, change something, but the final results can be great. Also, overall, Mercury retrograde opposite your sign can indicate that you're revising something, some documents or papers need to be edited, fixed, filled, going back to some old information, preparing for an exam, revising, or maybe going back to some old skills some skills that you have that you need to use with 3 times more effort, or to focus on mental and intellectual skills on completing something that needs to be fixed, edited, final touches put to it. And then the final result. Of course, it can be stressful in the process, but remember that Mercury is always, when it goes retrograde, it wants to give us an alternative, better plan and things that we have missed to improve them. So Scorpios would feel this Mercury more intensely. And usually yes, it can be stressful times because things don't go according to plan so much, but it's quite exciting at the end because you see better results, more organized, more streamlined. So yeah, this is what this month brings for you, Scorpios. There can be also some travels that's happening for some of you. Mars is in the 9th house for some of you. But definitely one of the biggest energies that you'll feel is the 7th house that we talked about, and the 6th house of new routines, your daily rhythm. It's kind of disrupted and something new starts happening there. Like if you're almost wake up at this time, go to work, do this or whatever. Now some new routines will be introduced. the flow of your daily life can be a bit, throw you off, but it can be something exciting new that's coming. So on. So thank you so much. And yeah, if you'd like to learn with me, I do this opportunity just once per year for a couple of weeks. All my courses will be very lowered in price. Thank you.